Sure. Things. It went good and bad. One of the things that's kind of tricky with school starting so early for us this year. That was our first scrimmage. Training camp. We didn't really break camp until Thursday, even though we're already a week into school at that point. It's kind of a different schedule for us this year. So, and with school starting, you almost feel like that's the second scrimmage. But for a first scrimmage. Good. There were some real positives. Some older guys performing at a high level. I think Dak was pretty sharp. One defense. I like the energy our defense played with. I thought they did fairly well for the night. Do a good job creating some 3-and-outs. But as it gets going into the scrimmage, some young guys in there. A lot going on for them. Some guys first time in the stadium. A lot of errors and things that you can't have when you get ready for a game. Some blown coverages led to some big plays, some critical penalties. Some false starts and silly things like that that we got to get cleaned up. And we can't have those type of issues in the second scrimmage. You want to play good football in the second scrimmage. That's a clean football. Where guys are executing and then someone makes a play, one side of the ball or the other, more than, hey, the offense had a big play because there was an MA on defense, or a false start penalty just ruined a drive, that sort of stuff. We came out. The best part of it, I think everybody was pretty healthy. Sore, banged up a little bit, but no issues.
Talked about the install for the younger guys. What did you see from them? Trying to remember what was installed the first couple of weeks.
Yeah. Sometimes they got it, sometimes they didn't. You see just a lot of like the brook trout look. I have no idea what you just said, and out there on the field. But what we did actually when we go to the young guys, we try to keep it a little bit simple. Do a lot of base stuff when the young guys are in there. We're base offense, we're more base defense, so they can get used to playing in the stadium and try to execute more than going to kind of a little bit more intricate plays, and there are certain things we just don't call with the twos because guys aren't pulling, guys are running the wrong route if you try to get too crazy off the base stuff for those guys. So they were okay. They're still the young guys. They're still trying to figure it out.
Talk about the lines, both sides of the ball that look okay.
Yeah, they're coming along. We're young, got a lot of development still to go. And because when you are young, all those guys, every day they're going to get a little bit better and a little bit better and a little bit better. Older guys, I think, are doing a good job, but it's those younger guys. And right now, when you're in training camp, you look into a game. We're playing 15, 16 offensive linemen right now in practice. In a game, you probably bring in 8. So it's going to clean up an awful lot differently. So in the big picture, I think same with the D line. You spend a lot of times on those young guys getting reps. I think the great thing is I get a rep count from our coaches. The older guys don't get as many. I think Dak only played in 165 play scrimmage, took about 30 reps. And was pretty darn good, or whatever, 40 reps, whatever his reps were, he was pretty good on those. But it's the young guys, the same thing with Justin Mullen and Justin Sr. and Chris Jones and A.J. Jefferson. Training camp's not to make us feel good as coaches. Where you say, hey, let's put the great players and look how great football is. Training camp's to get those guys ready and the young guys develop to where they're ready to step on the field.
Coaches use it as a litmus test, but how much do you think some of the younger players use the scrimmage as a litmus test for them personally?
I think so much it's their opportunity to just see where they're at in the stadium when things are expected. Also, really one of our first times doing game situations where, if there is a big play, we don't just run the ball back and run the next play. You better be running the ball, chasing the ball, snap it, and you see, you see the repercussions of issues. You have a fumbled snap. It's now 2nd and 17. In practice, it's put the ball back up, run the play again, or go on to the next play. And so young guys for that really feeling the impact of good plays and bad plays out there on the field.
What are the type of the game situations you try to simulate in scrimmages?
Well, the next one we're going to simulate a lot more. This one was really letting them go play, even though it is a game situation. The next one, we'll create 2-minute situations. We'll create, momentum. This one, a lot of times you just spot the ball. The next one, we're going to have kicking game in there. So all of a sudden, there was a big kick, or there was a big return. Now you got to face that momentum, a turnover, put the ball down, going the other way. Having to play sudden change, offense and defense. So those are the situations we'll get them in. And now, installation's kind of done for us at this point. So now this whole week of training camp for us is much more, starting today, it's all much more situationally oriented. Now taking all the install and trying to put it into the specific situations of game, with red zones, goal line, third downs, second downs, clock management situations, all of those things.
I know you don't have a lot of time to watch these things, but Preston Smith led the Redskins, I believe, in tackles in the preseason
Awesome.
game. Yeah, I mean, every single time.
Must be a rookie that he gets to play an awful lot too. I bet they got him a bunch of snaps. They did that on a couple of snaps.
When every tackle he's getting, they're saying, hey, the rookie out of Mississippi State, what does that kind of do for the national exposure of the program when a guy like that is having such success in the next level?
Great, especially if it was played in prime time in the game or something. People are watching it. But no, I love preseason games. I don't get to see them all the time because they're on at random times sometimes.
Right.
But I try to pay attention because you're going to see a lot of our guys go play. Preston, we hope, is doing that all season long. There's a lot of other guys out there that you hope see it. And you know what? It's great for the program. I mean, it's great for people out there. And you get to see all the NFL players. A guy like Preston Smith that came in as really a not heavily recruited, kind of under the radar guy that's now out there making a lot of plays in the NFL. That's really great for the program and great for Preston.
Elijah was talking about maybe contemplating about basketball too at the end of football. How does that situation kind of take place? Have you talked to him about that yet? Or?
No, we worry about that. I'm great with it.
Mm-hmm.
That's something because he's done it before, so we know how the whole thing shakes out. And we'll work with Coach Howland and do that. I love guys who play multiple sports. I want to win. If he can help us win in basketball, I'm all for it. I tell him, you can hit a curveball, go play baseball. I'm great. Right? We had Billy Hamilton signed here years ago. We would have had a lot more stolen bases, I think, right here if he had decided to come here instead of go to Major League Baseball. So, I'm into all that stuff, and I think the key is when you're open to it all, and the kids know it. It makes everything much easier and the transition easier if he wants to do that stuff.